Hi, how are we all today? I'm just choosing some papers for the signatures for this new journal. So I'm going to make a journal today from a cardboard box. They turn out so sweet. I made one yesterday out of a soap box. So that's a tiny journal, and I'm going to insert that here for you now to have a look at. How cute is it? It's so beautiful and so easy to make. So let's get started and we'll make another one, and I'm going to give you the measurements and everything. They're really easy and they turn out so good. So let's get started. Now, most of you will have a hardware shop near you. Mine is called Bunnings. But they all have this kind of section in there, you know, where they put all the empty boxes and you can take what you like. So I popped down there and I picked up this box. This is the size. So we'll do it in inches so the Americans will be on board. It's almost 5 inches wide, so 4 3/4 probably by 5. So it's almost square. So the first step is actually to deconstruct it. So when I did the soap box yesterday, this is what I did. So you pull these bits out at the side, and then you're left with this. All right, and from this you need to decide which parts you're going to keep. Now, the beauty of choosing one that is almost square is that when you fold the sides in, so I'm looking at only keeping up to there and up to there. So then they will almost close. I'll show you like this. They will almost close when that's the journal. So we want to rip off this piece here. And do just rip, because it gives that lovely sort of not quite finished edge, which I really like that. So that's the top or bottom. Don't know which is going to be which yet. And we want to take this part off as well. And we're not worried about whether we can see other bits of the cardboard like this. Don't even worry about that now. Down here and here, because remember we only want it to be able to almost close. Okay, so yep, we're going to take those bits off. Let's take those off. And again, we're not worried about whether it's rough. It's all going to be beautiful when I'm done. All right, so we're left with this, kind of like this. That's kind of groovy. Maybe I'll be able to use those for a little bit of you know, the binding or something, put the binding through there or something like that. Not really sure. So that's your first step. Get that done. And now what we're going to do, I'm going to soak this in some water. Okay, there we are. So it's just a daggy old dish that I don't use anymore, and I keep it in my craft room, so I've just put water in it. And we just want to sink this down under the water. Now ideally it would be wide enough to lay it out flat, but it doesn't really matter, because the water is still going to get into it. And I'm just going to use a plate to weigh it down. And I'm going to leave it there probably for about an hour. So go ahead and do that little step. And then I'll come back and I'll show you what's next. So let's see what we've got. We'll move this out of the way. Get it out. Now it becomes very fragile at this stage, but don't be afraid, okay? What's happened, because it's wet, it's made it very easy to rip and pull apart. So we just want to pull it apart, right? See here? Can you see how these two pieces have come apart like that? That's what we want. It's gorgeous. And it's like another page in there, which will help to stay in there. So that is really awesome. Let's have a look at this side. Yep, the same is happening here. So we're left with like another page. Oh, there's a third one. So that's really good. Let's see. Oh yes, there is a third one here. Look, it's stuck down. All right, so the cover has gone into 3 pieces. Can you see that? And that is gorgeous to help us make pages. I first saw this done by Colleen Attara and I just love it. So I made one yesterday, but I didn't pull the sides apart. So now what we want to do is maybe get our spare pieces of cardboard that we had and just keep them between the pages until they dry. Maybe we'll put a little bit of a bump in them so they can hang over. Because what we don't want them to do is to reset together. That would be a tragedy and we'd have to dunk it under the water, wouldn't we? So that bit's all right. And then this bit's okay. And then this bit's okay. So we'll let that lean maybe on there. All right. So let's leave those to dry. And when they're dry, we're going to come back and assemble the whole journal. Because off camera, I've taken the liberty of making 2 little signatures, all right, because it would take too long if you watch me making all of those as well, and they're going to sit in here like this. So we'll construct it all shortly. Whilst it's wet, I might just take some more off of the back cover just to give it a little bit more depth to the journal. Now I want to keep that integrity there, so I'm not sort of thinking about it too much. So yeah, and then you're going to see all this ribbing from the cardboard on the back of the journal as well. It's going to look just gorgeous. All right, so I just thought I'd add that little bit before I now leave it to dry. Okay, it's dry. Now, as you can see, it's totally deconstructed. Don't panic at this stage either, because it's all going to be okay. That's not quite coming apart there, but you can kind of marry it up with this one because we remember where the little holes were, remember there? And you can take this across here and marry that back up there. So what I'm going to do to keep it together is just go and do some slow stitching down here and here so that my journal kind of stays together again. This is where the creative process comes in. So I got down to here and I thought, oh, it would look really nice if it went round there and back up there. So I'm going to continue that. And there you have it. I've sewn down there, across there, up there, and back up there. And this will close like that. I'm thinking about tea bags because they give the most gorgeous colouring. And then in here, maybe some gesso, because cardboard picks up gesso really beautifully. Now, the beauty of using tea bags is they're already stained, and then sometimes I use up my paint from other projects and just stick it on a tea bag. So yeah, I end up with all sorts of stuff, like say for instance this one here. Look how beautifully patinaed that is. So then you start adding it to a journal, the stitching will come through, it will just look gorgeous and like it's always been there. You see that? Alright, so I finally got myself one of these silicone brushes as well to use for my matte medium so that I'm not mucking up all my paint brushes. Do you guys use these? Let me know below. Just using the old Liquitex matte medium, of course, the best. This will help to start shoring it all up and making it stronger. I don't really want to cover over that hole. I've kind of got an idea to do the binding through that hole there. So let's see how I go.
to slow down. Fireplace, do you know how? Piles of paper, my desk is out. Who will care for the world out? Rest with me, close to curtains, brew some herbal tea.
I don't know about you, but I just love the patina on that. Looks fantastic. Now let's turn it over. Ah, yes, okay, so this is how it's going to look. And just totally randomly, it looks like there's a lock going across there. I really like that. All right, so we've got to decorate these pages first before we put our signatures in. So let's get some gesso and start just colouring up these inside pages. Now, you can put it on with your finger if you want. I'm just going to put it on with a little bit of wrinkled up paper today, just to see. And I want to be quite random, okay? I don't want it all covered or anything like that. You can keep moving backwards and forwards, and you're going to get different patterns on there. Now you could use a stencil if you wanted to. You could use a stamp, and then it will stamp out the pattern on the stamp for you with gesso. But I'm just going to use this today. I want some darker bits. And you know, don't be afraid to have a go, because if you think that you make a mistake, you can't. There's no mistakes in art. Get something on the page and see how it looks. What we're doing is just taking away the cardboard kind of look on these initial couple of pages so that we can stick something on or whatever we want to do. Now, I've had an idea for here. I'm thinking some kind of scene at the back there, like you're looking through. This is a tunnel. So I've looked out a couple of pics, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. Right, they're all dry. So what I love is it's taken away this sort of nondescript cardboard look, and we're starting to get an art journal feel. All right, obviously there's still a way to go. Still going to keep working on it. But you see how this side has sort of got greys in it and white, and then the patina from the tea bags. It just looks gorgeous and yummy. So I think I'm going to use some grey on these first pages in here. So I've got a really nice grey. It's the Liquitex one, and it's called Neutral Grey 5. So with this, just want a little bit on. Now, don't be too precious. No, this is fun. We're having fun. This is an art journal. Now there, what's happened is my cardboard has picked up the paint. So I quite like how that looks. All right. And then I'm just going to leave the marks on there to dry. Now actually you'll start to see the palette I love if you look at my back sheet. Look. Greys, the burnt umber, the ochres, white, a little bit of black in there. Oh, yeah, they're the colours I favour. I just sort of noticed that. Right, so the next colour is Raw Sienna, also by Liquitex. So you can also apply it with a trowel, a little trowel like this. Keeps your hands clean for sure. Now let's try this one, Yellow Oxide by Jo Sonia. Really nice colour. I think that might be the yellowy colour that's in the background. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, Okay. So once I got started on this, it became a real labour of love. I ended up flicking through all of my grandparents' old albums, and I'll explain why I put some of the captions on some of the photos. It was just really, really lovely. So come on, let's have a look and see what I did. All right, do we remember what we started with? A random white box. Now we've got this. And you guys, it's absolutely beautiful. So let's do a flip through. I made a simple tie. I didn't want anything elaborate. That's the front. This is the back. So this forms part of the binding. And you open it up. And we've got our 2 signatures in here. So let's do this side first. So I've done number 2025. I like this one. I'm kind of a big deal. Remember when you were teenagers and you had all these poses and you thought you were somebody? And laugh out loud is because these photographs are from my grandma and grandpa's personal collection. And they're just random photographs of we don't know what. None of us grandkids know what they are. And so we always laugh out loud. We're like, what is that? We don't know. Okay, here's the first signature. I just did an edge there with some leftover paper. And you can see that I've just used random bits of paper. It really is a junk journal. Some Semitic writing there. And this is another one, important note. Don't take random photos for the kids to find later. Oh dear, we loved them dearly, but photographs, boy have we got photographs. That was my symbol for the year, remember, growth, and this one went a little bit wrong when I did the video, so I kept it and I've used it in here. Little pull-out pages, beautiful bits of art on them, just a random bit of stitching on the sewing machine, and again there, and the edge of that's been burnt. These pieces of paper were from the eco dyeing that I did, so yeah, they're beautiful. This paper is still what I'm using up from when I did my magazine journal. Alright, so we've got to the back of the box, and this photograph I've done like a tunnel. Hope you can see that. It's of my grandfather somewhere at a stall, but I liked how it was sort of looking through, you know, through a tunnel, like you're looking through a tunnel. And then I did all some art up here with some paint, gold splatters. And I've put school memories because when we were at school we were made to watch all their random sort of slideshows from places they've been, and of course all the shots meant something to them, but they didn't mean anything to us, so it was quite funny. All right, let's go to the other side. We start at the back. So that's a photograph that I pulled aside, and what I liked was the little bits of orange in it, so it sort of goes with the cover. I like that. So I just ripped it in half, put it on each page, and then I really like this photo here. Two young boys with their private school hats on. They look very peaceful in the field there. And you know, even though my grandpa took random photographs, I just thought of the just do you. That's what he wanted to do, so he did himself. And I've had this piece of paper for quite a while. I have no talent. I don't know why I wanted to put it there, but yeah. We're going back through the second signature now with all its lovely bits of paper. There was a couple of songs that I used on my last video, and I'd written them down so I could give credit. And then I thought, well, I'll use that piece of paper. That's quite cute. Again, that's a bit of my eco dyeing. Another piece that's been burnt. Another bit of, I think, random paints and things that I used. One word, critical. Some more stitching. So plenty of places still to journal. That was the back of the shopping bag, which I've got other things on that side, but this side was sort of a green colour. I think it was from Woolworths, so just covered it with grey paint. A bit of gold splatter, random pick from a magazine. So yeah. Now you'll notice, remember I did the slow stitching to hold this together. You can hardly see it now. You know, they've all sort of melded in. But what it does, it just gives texture to the journal. So yeah, let me know what you think about a journal made from a cardboard box. I just love it. I love how it's turned out. I love the extra pages and the tea bags all over. They give it a real gorgeous patina. I really love that. So yeah, with your tea bags, when you dry them, if you've got paint on your brushes, just paint it onto the tea bags, dry them out, and when you come to use them, that's what you're going to get. Alright, so that's me. I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you like my videos, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Leave me a message down below, because I love to read your messages, and I, at the moment, can still reply to every single person. So I like to give the personal touch. Anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.